What is good, everyone? Welcome, X. Hope you guys are all doing phenomenal. It's been a little while since we've had a video. This is going to be completely raw. I have no notes, I have no plan, but I just wanted to jump on here. It's been a little while since I made a video, an update on anything. Apologize for that. Been doing a lot of traveling. I'm actually here in beautiful Vietnam. I was in Bali. I'm going back there. But we've just been absolutely dialed in. I've been really focusing on trading Forex. So if you guys want to see more content on Forex, let me know. I'm going to be a bit more active back on X again. But today I wanted to talk about some trading psychology. So a lot of the time, once you've mastered the TA, the psychology is all that's left. And if you can truly get a grip on your mind, mastering your psychology, you are already profitable. And that is the most important thing that I can emphasize, right? I can make updates on the TA every single day. I can keep you guys in the loop on what I'm watching, but it really only takes so long to learn the TA. Couple months, maybe a year, to fully understand all of the rules, especially with TCT. You can learn it. It all depends on your kind of time frame and your skills, and if you have the experience with markets. But I truly believe anyone, if they're just dialed in, can learn and master TCT concepts, simply the concepts, within 6 months of putting in the work every single day. But after that, all you're left with is you and your mind. And the hardest part, at least for most people, and definitely myself, is just being able to be wrong. And it's hard because when you're wrong, when you take a loss, it's not just taking a loss on that one trade. Your brain ties it back to every time you've lost in your life, whether it's been a game of chess or playing a sport as a kid. Your brain just ties this loss back to all of these previous negative emotions, and being able to disconnect from that is extremely difficult. And today in this video, I'm not sure how long I'm going to go, but I just want to talk about some things that have really helped me taking control of my psychology, of mastering my mind. And I mean, this is the beginning of my journey. I'm here to document it. And I just wanted to kind of talk about a few things that have really helped me. So some people who inspired this video, the Composite Trader Absolute Legend and Justin Werlin, completely, if you haven't seen their videos, if you haven't followed both those guys, I'll link them in the description, because those are truly who inspired this video and for me to start really just trading. But overall, I think there's so many powerful lessons in this, so I hope you guys are going to enjoy. But I'd say the first thing that really helped me was to cut my risk. So originally when I started trading, I just wanted to make money. That's all I cared about. Making money, retiring my family, doing all these incredible things, which comes with trading and is 100% possible with trading. But I was so focused on making money every day, going into the markets. I had a small account, but I was risking a good amount of it. And just having a risk that, although it's small and it's 1% of that account balance, still risking whatever, when I was starting, $100 risk, right? I was just so focused on making money. I was pulling my RR tool. I was seeing that the trade was a 7 RR, and that was just blinding me. So first off, I would say the best thing you could do to truly change your trading psychology is cut your risk. Start risking $5 on every setup. Now, it's not going to be fun. You're genuinely not going to make any money, and that's the point. Focus on just building good trading habits, sticking to your plan, and that's how you're going to make it, right? Focus on being able to take a trade, see your schematic, execute on that trade, and then had no emotions with it. And what happens when you start risking a very low amount is you start detaching yourself from the emotions. You start being fully detached from the results because it's nothing. You're not worried about losing the money. And another thing is just not even looking at the RR. Obviously, it's important to make sure, okay, it's a 1-2 at least minimum. But I mean, if it's helps, you can just calculate your position size and not focus on pulling your RR tool down all the way to see, okay, maybe this could be a 6 RR, and then you're thinking, okay, I'm gonna make $600 on this, and then I'm gonna go buy this, and it's not helping, it's not serving you. So just truly focusing on doing what you need to do, executing on your plan, and not making money. Because you're not gonna make money. Just tell yourself, for the first few months of trading or year or whatever it takes, I'm not gonna make money. And that's okay. Because the game of trading is a game of it's a war of attrition. You need to outlast the markets, right? You need to outlast the markets. And most people, especially when they start talking about funded accounts, it's so easy to just blow an account, over risk, over leverage, over take more contracts than you think. And that's just not serving you. So cutting your risk, something that I did was I started risking like $5 on a trade, somewhere around there, for a few months. And obviously I wasn't making money, not significant money, because even if you take a good 5 RR setup, you're only making $25. But the fact that I was able to see a setup, completely detach myself from making money, execute on my confirmations, and whatever happens, it doesn't matter, was one of the most important things for me. Also, not focusing on the time, right? It doesn't matter how long it takes you. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to make this percent a week. You don't have to make 5% a week. If you're just consistent, if you're sticking to your plan, identifying high probability setups, and enjoying the process, then you are already a profitable trader. That's all you need to do. Stick to your plan and just trust the process. You need to fall in love with trading. This is like a person who plays a sport. They don't play the sport to make money. Maybe that's an alternative motive, but they play the sport because they love playing basketball, soccer, football. They love playing the game. You need to fall in love with playing the game, and that's just what it is. So those are a few things that have really helped, especially with me, lowering my risk, detaching myself from the emotions, and learning that there is no time limit. When you put a time limit on how long you need to get profitable, to start making money, you're just tying so many external factors and so many unneeded emotions towards something that is already so emotional. Just in your mind, you are already a profitable trader. Stop trying to be a profitable trader. You are already a profitable trader. Because if you can identify high probability models, if you can stick to your plan when you take a trade, you don't take 10,000 partials on the way down, you don't over leverage, you stick to your risk management, you will make it. I'm 100% certain of that. And if I didn't stick to my plan, learn all this, take higher risk setups, and have all this frustration to the point where I was like, I need to risk $5 on a trade. Like, I need to just completely detach, then I wouldn't be where I am today. I truly believe anyone can make it with trading. If you have a laptop, you have some time on your hands, and you are willing to battle in your mind, you will make it. I am extremely confident. I truly believe in you. And just this idea of trading, striving for arriving is so important, right? Justin Warland talks about it in many of his videos. I highly recommend you guys watch that. Like I said earlier, he's got some amazing perspectives on it. But just the idea that you're already there. It's so much more enjoyable to live your life when you know you're already there. You're in the know. You just are there. Opposed to always striving. Because again, you got to ask yourself, why do we trade? Well, because we want freedom. At least for me, the most important thing has always been the freedom. So yes, you can strive and you can keep brute forcing your way. But at the end of the day, trading is not a brute force kind of work. When you're building a business, when you're trying to grow a company, that is brute force work. That is, if you put in more hours, you will get a lot more. But when it comes to trading, yes, there's always more you can do. You can review your trades, you can backtest, which I highly recommend. And I made a video in the past, but I can make more on how I backtest. If you guys want to see that, let me know. But the truth is, if there's no setup in the market, there is nothing for you to do. And you need to get okay with that. You need to be okay with the fact that if there's nothing there, there's nothing there. And that's perfect. Because why else would we want to trade besides our freedom? Go do other things. Learn new skills. Try new fun hobbies you like. Play new sports, right? If there's nothing there, there's nothing there. And that was a trap that I fell into when I started trading. I was on the charts for 12 to 15 hours a day, just watching the price, watching how the markets move. And that gave me a lot of good experience on the charts, but it also led to me taking some bad setups, because the guy who's working harder in trading is not the guy who's on the charts for longer. It's the guy who sees his setup, goes through his list, and executes. And if there's nothing there, there's nothing there. And another thing that I highly recommend you guys do is to have a list. So before I would watch a setup and see it, I know my confirmations, but sometimes you'd mess up. Sometimes I'd enter on a model when I didn't check what the highest time frame the model is valid on, or some silly mistakes. So I highly recommend you guys take a pen and paper out right now, whatever your strategy is. If you use TCT, if you use whatever, you take a paper out and you write down your exact confirmations. Do we have a good return to zone? Is the breakup structure in the volume profile, etc., etc.? And if you can genuinely, just like a robot, look at your list and say yes, 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 and you get your confirmation, you have to execute. I don't care what else happens in the market. If you get your confirmations, you have to execute. And the final thing I wanted to talk about is truly just being okay with losing. It is your trading tuition. People will pay 125 grand or whatever it is for a semester at the top universities. They will take out crazy student loans just to take some courses at these big universities, if they're able to even get into these places. This is your trading tuition. When you take a loss, you should go yes. Because if you take a loss and it's a high probability model, that is genuinely only going to serve you. It's a lesson for you. And if you can look at it and learn to love taking losses, you will be an incredible trader. That is how you survive in this game. When you take a loss, you need to, instead of, why did I take a loss? I'm frustrated. No profitable trading strategy exists without losses. It just doesn't exist. If anyone tells you they're a profitable trader and they don't take losses, they're either a liar or they have some crazy AI strategy that is just not sustainable. But no trading strategy that is truly profitable does not take occasional losses. And you can limit them by keeping your losers small and your winners big. But at the end of the day, you truly need to learn to love taking losses. Because not only when you take a loss is it a good thing, because it just means if you have a profitable strategy, you're one trade closer to that next good trade. But it also means you have a plethora of new lessons to learn. You will go on the weekend, every weekend or every day after, you will journal about this and you reflect. Just reflect on it. See, okay, I took this trade, but in my journal, it said counter context. Also in my journal, I logged, I felt FOMO. Okay, interesting. So maybe next time, if the context is counter and I feel FOMO in the trade because I was looking at my RR tool and it said it was a 1 to 7, then maybe I need to reassess. And if you can just stack up these good wins, keeping your winners big, and you can stack up the fact that when you take a loss, you embrace it and you learn to love it, then you are a profitable trader. Now, I truly believe in all of you guys. I appreciate all of you guys. I'm going to be more active on X. I apologize for my absence. I've really just been focused on my journey, on my trading, not really updating